Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to do a video on the new Oculus Quest 3 update that just released, the version 67 that is now available. And we have some big news here with the way that Windows is now being managed. You can actually manage your Windows in a very similar manner to what Vision OS is like, but we're going to take a look at the limitations of it, what they've done so far with it. And I also want to show you guys the new Netflix update that released a couple weeks back that some people may not have seen or gotten yet, with the web browser where you can actually turn it into immersive mode that we got now. But this is huge news that we can finally manipulate Windows and kind of put them all over space the way we want to. But there are some limitations, and we're going to talk about that in today's video, so let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and as you can see, we're here at the main menu of the Oculus Quest 3, and we officially have these settings that we were talking about before, the version 67. If I go into my library and you see I click on settings and I go to software update, you can see I am running the latest version of the software, so you guys can do the exact same thing now. They actually released a new feature now where you can actually update directly to these versions now. With either an Android phone or your computer, which is awesome. So you can go ahead and get up to date. You don't have to wait for these to roll out. Now, keep in mind, even though you can update to the version, sometimes these versions come with minor updates. For example, the pass-through I still don't have. As you can tell when I move my hand, it still looks like it always has. Even though I'm on version 67, those rolled updates still don't count. You can't get that immediately, even if you wanted to. You just got to wait for that to hit you, just like the wrist button. I don't have that either, even though it's enabled in the experimental settings. So keep that in mind, that even though you can update to these versions, you only get the features that are actually specifically in these versions. If there's rolling updates, you may still have to wait for them. You can see here, if you go into experimental features, this is where you turn on the new Windows layout. It's going to ask you to reboot. You reboot, and then you're presented with basically what's in front of me right here, which is super awesome. So we can finally manipulate Windows in any way we want. Now, there are some limitations to it, but it is a very good start. So, in the grand scheme of things, what it means is I can have Windows everywhere. Before, it used to be that you can only have these three windows here. So now when you look, as you can see that it hovers around the whole entire thing. It doesn't just hover in the middle like it used to. So you can grab it from different areas. And it used to be that you could just have this one here, and this one here, and then you can manipulate apps in that direction. Well, now you can manipulate apps anywhere you want. So the way that it works is if I look at this one here on top, for example, this is the one that I have Netflix playing. You can see I can put this literally anywhere I want, moving this anywhere I want, and I chose to put it on the right-hand side. Same thing with this one here. I can go ahead and manipulate this one. Let's go ahead and grab this from the top because it was a little too close there. I can put this Instagram feed and put this, wherever I want it to be. I have this YouTube window where I have another browser tab open, and either put this right above if I want to, or put it higher up if I want to. Basically doing whatever I want with these windows. Now, the reason that it's not 100% perfect, which is what I was talking about before, it's for a couple of reasons. First of all, if I were to open something over here, it's going to try to open in one of these three slots here, which means you have to manipulate things. I'm going to give you guys an example. If I want to open up a new tab right here, right? Let's say I open up a new tab here, and you get your usual screen here where you can open up Netflix, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, whatever the case may be. Let's say I just go to Amazon as an example, and technically I should be able to just pull this out right from here and put it somewhere, right? But I can't, because basically what it's looking for, it doesn't let you just drop it in the middle of the air. What it wants you to do is to drop it into one of these three slots first. So if I were to go to Amazon here and then hold it and drag it here, and now you can see the browser opens, and now you can see Amazon is now open. So anytime you try to open something or whatever, it's going to have to be slotted into one of these three if you don't have, the room for them. So it's not like the Vision Pro, like a lot of people think, that you could just put unlimited windows everywhere. There are, of course, limitations with this running on the Quest 3, but this is so much better than the way it was before. I'm super happy that now I can manipulate windows and put them wherever I want. This is kind of exactly what I wanted. Even if they add nothing nothing else to this Windows management feature, even though I hope that they do. This is still amazing. The fact that I could have, either the Instagram 2D app that they have on the store sitting over here, a couple of web browsers open. I can have, Netflix playing like I do right here. You can either make it full screen. I can go ahead and lower the volume here. You can see it's playing right there. If I make it full screen, then you can see it takes up to full screen. Now that we can finally watch 1080p videos on the Netflix website, this is so much better, and I can go ahead and put this wherever I want. I can obviously, move this around. Let's say I want to make Netflix the forefront and, push it back out, push these over here. The same thing that you're kind of used to with the Vision Pro. If you've seen videos like that, you can kind of do that on here now in a more limited capacity because there's not a lot of 2D apps on here, obviously. So you're relying on the browser for a lot of the stuff. There's only like Facebook and Instagram as far as 2D apps, but I hope that this means that we're going to get a lot more 2D apps, coming soon that we can actually use, because now we have all these different things that we can do instead of just relying on the browser, make these 2D apps, even though I know that like these 2D apps are basically a web wrapper, but still it looks a little bit nicer. Like this Instagram is easier to see in this kind of way than it is if I had to log into the website. So there are some good ways for that. Now, the other thing that I would love to see when it comes to, this stuff is if we can actually, let me go ahead and pause that since we don't need to have that playing, is for it actually to save where everything is. So if you hold the button down and you do like a refresh so it sets, it does kind of usually stay in the vicinity that you want it to. Even if I put this app over here and you do the thing that a lot of people do with the Vision Pro and kind of just walk away into a different room, you could still see the applications kind of stay floating in there. I don't know exactly how far you can go, but you can see they kind of stay in the vicinity, which is good. Then if I come back on my seat here, you can see most of the things are kind of exactly where or actually they are exactly where I left them, and I can continue picking it off. Same thing with you wanting to, leave this window here and leave another window in a different room. That's stuff that you can do, but remember, you're at the limitations of the OS, so you can't have 50 of these windows open. From what I gather here, it looks like 3 is the max, because when I try to open up another browser window, it doesn't let me add anymore. So it looks like you got the 3 on the bottom and then 3 other floating windows on top wherever you want them to be. Seems to be the limitation here. But it's super cool to be able to, do this either way. The fact that I can have these open and stuff like that and kind of get a Vision OS type experience, which is what we love with this way that they're doing Windows management. This really elevates, multitasking on the Quest 3 for sure. This is something that I heard is also coming to the Quest 2. Which is awesome for everybody who just still has a Quest 2. But yeah, this is awesome. I hope they make more 2D apps to let us easily open things. I hope that they keep elevating this, and maybe one day, we'll be able to turn the headset off, because if I power this off and power it back on, of course, these windows are not going to still be here. That's something even the Vision Pro only recently started doing. So I hope that that's something that the Quest starts doing, eventually, that it actually remembers where you laid these windows out. So when you reboot, everything is still in the same place. But baby steps, of course. This is fantastic. A great update. Urge everyone to check it out. This is something that a lot of us have been waiting for, and it is super, super awesome. And don't forget, guys, too, that there's that new feature. First of all, this environment here that I haven't gotten a chance to talk about on this channel is amazing. It's my favorite environment to actually use. This is the lake environment. It looks amazing. It's the best environment that they've ever created. It definitely... even if it's not as sharp looking as my Vision Pro is when it comes to resolution, it gives me that kind of vibe where I can kind of just be sitting out here looking at the mountains and stuff like that, and really makes me feel like I'm there, as opposed to most of their other environments didn't look as good as this one. There's a lot more detail here, and it looks really good. But one of the things I wanted to mention too, don't forget with the Netflix browser now, if you hit, so I have Perfect Match here playing, as you can see, and I can go ahead and start playing it again. I have it muted. But not only can you use this in 2D, like I talked about with all the other windows around you, which we just showed, but you can also hit this little button here on the top here to put it in immersive mode. So now you can watch, Netflix in immersive mode here, as you can see. And now you're kind of in this lake environment. Again, it reminds me very much of what the Vision Pro does. Again, Vision Pro looks a lot better, of course, because of the higher resolution, but it just dimmed the environment. And now I'm just looking at this, and you can see here, I can click the brightness, kind of either higher it back to normal or kind of lower the brightness in here. So you can still feel like you're in the environment, but kind of be dimmed out and just watching this. You can either do it in pass-through mode, like this, and you can still be like in a full room. It can't control the brightness though in your room like the Vision Pro can, where you're looking at it like that. but it can if you're actually in the virtual environment. And then you can also select it to be curved as well. And you can manipulate the sizes of all these windows too. So you can make it fully wrap around you, as you guys are looking at here. I can make it wrap all around me if I want to, which is super awesome. Make it as big as it can possibly be. And now it's kind of just wrapping around my head here, which is obviously super awesome. We now have on the Quest as well. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video here real quick that we had on the update. Good update. One of the most exciting updates in a while, in my opinion, just because this is something I've wanted for the exact reasons that I talked about in the video. That now I could be watching something, whether it be on Netflix, now that we finally have a good resolution going on the browser. It's not 4K, but it is 1080p, and it looks really good on the, you know, it's not like the Oculus has resolution to support 4K anyway, so it's not too surprising, but super happy to be able to, you know, multitask in a much better way with a bunch of different apps and windows and browser windows and stuff like that while doing other things. So great update. And yeah, you can download it now if you guys want to check it out. If you want to force the update through your PC or through an Android phone, you can go ahead and do that if you don't have it already, or just turn on like I did. And I didn't have to do any of that. I'm just part of the beta, you know, program on my phone that I turned on to get these updates early. And as soon as I got home, it was already updated and ready to go. So guys, if you guys have any questions about what you guys have seen in today's video, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.